Oh, hey guys. I am here at school. I am working on I just finished your research papers. Okay, so I've just I haven't put them in the grade book yet. I'm fixing to do that. But I wanted to go through the rubric with you because there are a few of you who did not do well. Okay. You're going to have questions, and I want to go ahead and just kind of show you what you're going to be looking at first and foremost. Okay, so first you're going to have this rubric, which should be very familiar to you. Okay, so here's the introduction, 15 points. So anything like missing a thesis sentence or anything like that would come off of intro in your thesis. Okay, so the next one is body paragraphs. So 35 points here. Okay, usually everything, if you get any little marks down here, that's going to be 1 point apiece. Then your conclusion paragraph is 10 points, and then the last one, the Big Daddy, is 40 points. That's grammar and documentation. This should be very similar. This is what we've done since Comp 1. Okay, same kind of point system, the way I count off. Now, for research paper, it's a little different because I'm looking at a lot more. So I add some add-ins to the research paper. Okay, so you'll notice that there's a spot for intro and conclusion. So these are things that are specific to our research paper. So most of you did not have anything major issues here. Intros and conclusion were pretty decent. The only thing I think I had is somebody did not mention mental illness and film in their conclusion, and so that was something I marked off here. But here again, you're looking at 1 point. Okay. All right. I added some things for body paragraphs. Okay. So things like this first one was a big one. Discussion of how specific film devices help support a theme. So in those paragraphs where you were having to take a device and connect it to a symptom, that was a big deal. So I marked those off. Your devices, if you made the right one, I don't think you might have that issues. Concluding statements. There were a ton of you that just don't wrap up those paragraphs. So those are marked off there. Accurate film data. Some of you, you didn't watch the same film I did. Okay, so there's some things that are wrong. You get characters confused, that kind of thing. All right, quote. It says BPD articles, but that's really your article, your disorder. So I didn't. Everybody quoted at least once from each. So good job on that. Quote from film review article. You had to have that in there. You had to have one quote from a film review, and then quotes from film device handbook. Now I only counted off for this if, and this was per the video I sent you, if you were making your own definition to the film device, you had to come back and insert the correct definition. Like you could not, you could have paraphrased it, but you still had to have a citation. So to directly quote it was the way I taught you in that video. Now, and I also gave you options. You could do that, or you could have chunked the actual definition. You didn't have to have them in there, okay? Now, some of you that didn't have enough words, I have no words for that, actually. But if you didn't have enough words, you could have actually added in a film device definition. That would have given you plenty of words in probably, 3 sentences. All right, let me talk to you about how I did points. These are 1 point apiece until you get 3 in a row. So let's say that 3 body paragraphs in a row, I don't get a conclusion sentence. That's 1, 2, 3. That's 3. I count it every time, okay? Once I get up to 3, that equals, I put a little 1 beside it, meaning that's 1 major error, okay? These are big things, big deals, things I've told you to put in. So if you didn't do them, when you get a little equals 1, that's a 5-pointer. Anything else by itself is 1 point, okay? All right, let's look at documentation. This is the big one. Failure to properly introduce a quote when needed. And guess what? If you didn't properly lead into a quote, guess what? You didn't just do that one time. You did it at least 3 times. So that's the same marking here. If I had 3 missing lead-ins to a quote, that equals a little 1, which would give you 1 major error, which is 5 points. Incorrectly quoted. You got the words wrong. There's several of those that you may show up on your paper. Overuse of quoted material. If you gave me one that was longer than 3 or 4 typed sentences, that's overuse. That's too much quoting. You can't have more quoting than you talking in a paragraph. Stacking quotes or misuse. Okay, so if you have 2 quotes in a row, Even if they're separate sentences, which they should be, you still can't stack them. Misuse means I read it and it doesn't have anything to do with your symptom or characteristic. It's just plopped in there. I guess technically we would call that a dumped quote as well, but that means you don't have a lead in. All right, incorrect, missing, parenthetical reference. And here's where I get a little irritated because I've told you since day one, put a citation in, and I'm not seeing them. Okay, so if you did that 3 times, that's going to equal to a major error. Now, here's the mercy that your teacher is showing you is once I get that little equals -5, I'm done. I don't take off anymore. And I should have, but I didn't. Okay, so keep that in mind when you look over your rubrics. Failure to use quotation marks. Okay, I had a teacher in college one time where I did that. I put beginning quotation marks, but I never finished it. She said I plagiarized, and I did, because if I don't end the quote, then I'm saying that everything that follows that is someone else's words. Okay, so that means it's plagiarism, so it should be a 0. But I, again, merciful teacher, did not do that. So there's also undocumented quoted material. That would be like straight up intentional plagiarism. I don't think I had anybody with that. And the last one is serious violation of any directions. So if a lot of you quote from, like, let's say his name according to Robinson, and then I look in your works cited and there's no entry for Robinson, that's a serious violation because you have quoted something but you have not put it in the works cited page, and that is plagiarism 101. You got to have that in your works cited entry. So serious is an automatic 5 points. Okay. Anything else here is the same as above, -3, or you get 3 marks. That equals to 1 major error, and then that's exactly how we did it here with your major errors. Okay, so you can see this is going to come out in the documentation part. This will come out in conclusion. This will come out in body paragraphs. I mean, it's matched. Okay, so I suggest that you look at my comments. I'm fixing to go to lunch. I'm going to get this video uploaded and get it to you, and then I'm going to put your grades in. I'm probably going to mute those grades for a minute, and I'm going to look at them and see where some of you are. And I'm afraid that we might have to look at withdrawal dates because there's some that were that bad. I also, when I got your final copy grades, some of you, I was really surprised. So I went back and looked at your last draft, that final that I printed out, and looked to see if you changed things or if I had been unfair in grading, or had you made corrections, had you made differences. And the ones that I spot checked did not. You did not change them. And so I am stuck giving you the grade I gave you. Now, here's the saving grace. You've got 2 more items. You have a essay 4, which I will give you instructions on today at some point. And then you also have your final exam. Okay? That's what I can do for you. Can I let you resubmit a paper? No. Can you make corrections? Nope. Can you do really well on essay 4 in the final? Yes. That's all you got. Okay? So I'm hoping that I'll have your absolute attention in these last few assignments. For those of you that did well, congratulations. You did a great job. I was really interested in reading some of these papers. They were really good. Shout out to Nathan. Your paper was excellent. I enjoyed reading it, and the content was great. Okay, a lot of you did really well, and I thank you for your dedication to this class. All right, so I'll get this uploaded and get it sent to you, and then I will do your grades, and I'll send it on GroupMe when everything gets there. Oh, I do want to mention this. When I get essay, I'm going to go ahead and put essay 4 and the final to be visible. I'm not sure how to do that yet because I don't want you to take the final exam. You're going to take that when I tell you to take it. But you should be able to go in there and do what-if grades, meaning you can kind of see what you need. And I may do that as well, depending on where you are in the class and what your grade is, to let you know what you got to have. So I may do that instead of opening up those last 2 assignments. I may go ahead and do those calculations for you so you'll know. Okay? All right, let me know if you have any questions, but you make sure that you look over those the scanned copies, because I can't answer any questions until you've seen, and then we can talk about your paper in general. Okay? All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.